All right, folks, let me get this straight, because the subject of this video is something significant that's come up with Iran, and we're going to talk about that. But let's just talk about this for just 1 second. You mean to tell me we have a president who is undoubtedly the worst president that we have ever had in U.S. history, who is certainly the most totalitarian, who has made one bad decision after the other, especially with respect to foreign policy? He's never made a good foreign policy decision. Let's think about this. Of the 20 years that we have been in Afghanistan, 8 of those years, he has been the vice president. And another easily 8 of those years, he has been a senator. For 16 of the 20 years, he has supported everything that we have done in Afghanistan. Then he makes perhaps one of the worst decisions that's ever been made by any president in U.S. history, and does one of the most disgraceful things that any president can do. He leaves behind precious American lives and those who support American lives. And then when he finishes making a disaster of it all, and everybody who is around the United States knows what's really going on, and the international community no longer views the United States of America as a superpower, he has literally defecated all over the United States of America, and the Middle East, as well as the rest of the world, is laughing their rears off. He finishes all of that. The last plane leaves Afghanistan with the Taliban running across the runway, super excited, happy, making noise, doing all of that stuff. And then he has the gall and the nerve to lie through his teeth and make a statement this absolutely absurd. He says, last night in Kabul, the United States ended 20 years of war in Afghanistan, the longest war in our history, 16 years of which, by the way, President Biden, you were there to encourage and cheer on. We completed one of the biggest airlifts in history with more than 120,000 people evacuated to safety. Wait, hold on. Why were we conducting these airlifts? And where do you get that number? If you don't even know how many Americans are still left in Afghanistan, how in the world can you come up with a number like this? He says no nation has ever done anything like it. You're right about that, Mr. President, because nobody has ever made such a foolish decision for their country. And then while all of that's going on, we have got these precious service people that have died and are now being transported to Dover Air Base, and Joe Biden is more concerned with the time. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, with the time. Look at this. He goes to salute these dead warriors, these dead Marines, and now he's looking at his watch. In case you did not see that, watch this again. As he puts his hand down, he needs to look at his watch to see what time it is. And lo and behold, now the new Iranian foreign minister is warning that Tehran will not return to the nuclear talks until November. Want to know why they won't return to the nuclear talks until November? My guess is because at that point they will have weapons-grade uranium. I am flabbergasted by the foolishness that we are continuing to see. And if everybody who's watching this say that it was a better day when Joe Biden got voted for, you probably don't love this country or don't even care about this country or the people in this country or the God that inspired the inception of this country. The reality of what we are looking at right now is the United States of America is becoming an inconsequential nation. We are becoming less and less of a superpower. And even while the new Iranian foreign minister is saying that we're not coming back to the JCPOA, as a matter of fact, we're not even going to talk about it until November, you have got representatives from the Biden administration actually saying we are considering whether or not to give foreign aid, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, foreign aid to the Taliban. They're saying, oh, well, that just depends on how the Taliban is going to react. Folks, People are laughing at us. And this goes right back to what we read about in Ezekiel chapter 38, where we know that when Israel gets attacked by all of those nations, there won't be a supernation, or there won't be a superpower that will come in aid. And what we do know is that everything that we're looking at geopolitically is shifting for that thing. Jesus is coming back soon, folks. But in the meantime, as we know that he's coming back, we have an obligation to stand up for righteousness, because this evil cannot be tolerated. I don't know about you, but when I look at Nehemiah was a guy who was inspired by the things going on in his nation, and he was somebody who cared about his nation. And just like he cared about his nation, I care about mine, and we need to be standing up for righteousness. If you are not getting involved in school boards, city council meetings, if you are not going out of your way to take your responsibility to do the things that you are obligated to do before the eyes of God, it's time to get on it right now, because the nation is falling apart. And even when it falls apart, we need to still walk as the remnant who functions righteously, standing up for the things of God. It is time to fight back, and it is time to literally stand up for righteousness. Enough is enough, guys. There is so much at stake. The world is falling apart around us. Jesus is coming back at any moment, and we need to be wise about what we stand for and the things that we make an issue of. Why? Because he's coming back soon, and we don't have time, you guys.